Hello! If you're watching this, you likely just finished the Strong Attack or Strong Attack Recharge top 10 list for the characters with the Strong Attack Recharge build. If you have not, go watch that first because this is basically just the explanation of that video. Should be linked in the description below. That said, let's get started. This one might go on for a little longer. As you can see the tabs up there, there's 20 of them. Or there's 21 with the characters tab, but that's just to separate. But there's 20 of them. There are a lot of characters to go through. Now, before I get started, I just want to point out, a lot of people are going to be upset about certain placings of certain characters because they're better in PvP or whatever, but Strong Attack Recharge builds, typically not a PvP build. You typically go SAD, S.A.R, or DR, SAD, NAD, or DR. So, no PvP was taken into consideration for this because there's no point. Nobody does that. That said, it's kind of a crazy one because this one had so much. Man, this is probably the list that changed the most since last time because K-Lab has just been killing it with the Strong Attack Recharge characters. They've been just nailing it. It's awesome. And even some characters didn't make it on this list that made it in high positions last year, which is pretty crazy. I'll get to that here in a bit. But yeah. Ururu made it at number 10. It was kind of a difficult one for number 10 because there were so many other great ones for number 10 spot and really just for a lot of these spots. But Ururu made it just because she's a healer and she has the no affiliation. And she's really unique in that you can really have a really high attack on her and have a strong attack recharge build. So it's like you can get a lot out of this character if you build her correctly. And like I said, unfortunately, her strong attacks 1 and 3 go to waste, with the exception of debilitating freezing on a strong attack 3. But you know, if you build her correctly, they don't have to go to waste, and she still can deal a lot of damage with the NAD while maintaining the heal, and the recharge link can be stacked to like 50 something, 52 I think. But yeah, that's Ururu at number 10. Mashiro was next. Bring it out here. Mashiro was next. Because, okay, I'm going to get this comment a lot on Aizen as well, because Aizen has a similar problem Mashiro does, in that they are strong attack recharge characters, but unfortunately, the strong attack 2, because it originally takes 40 seconds to recharge, is still going to take about 19 or 20 seconds, depending on how you build the character, and that's just not great, especially for a build that makes you spam strong attacks. Having one that takes a lot longer than the others isn't great, but you do have a NAD that's a lot higher because 33% of this is like 200 and something. So you basically end up with a character with over 800 attack for all of the match, considering she has infinite boost. So you have your NAD and your strong attacks to go off of. Unfortunately, her SP isn't as high as a lot of the other characters on this list. It's still really high up there, really high up there. But like I said, you only have this for like every 20 seconds, and the range isn't that great for the boost attacks. It's still okay, but it's not the best. Still though, I think I put her at a solid 9th place. Like I said, for this list in particular, the order changed so much. The only one that was a solid one was Toshiro at number 1. I knew he was going to be number 1. He had to be number 1. Everybody else was difficult. Like, there were people that made it in the list, out of the list. They switched orders from 3 to 2 to 4 to... It's crazy. It was crazy. So, a lot of people are going to be like, this is crazy. This should be number 1. This should be this. Listen. Just because a character was at number 10 or number 9 does not make them a bad character at all. Like I said, some of these characters that even didn't make it on the list are very top tier characters. So, don't get upset if your character didn't make it. But yeah, number 9. After that, I put the only character with the strong attack damage on this list. If you remember the last list I did for strong attack recharge a few months ago, or several months ago at this point, there were quite a few, like half of them were strong attack damage, and that's because if you put a S.A.R build on strong attack damage characters, they're still really, really good. They can't spam them as much as the other ones, but they're still really good, and they have that extra damage boost. Toshiro's the only one here who made it just because he has freezing on everything and he has pretty crazy attacks. Strong attack 1, while it says it does a little bit of damage here, it hits so many times if you aim it correctly. And so this guy's crazy. He's crazy strong with that build, especially with strong attack 3. He gets his own boost of the 20% and plus this strength double, so that's kind of nice. But like I said, you can't spam him under this build as much as you can the other guys, so he wasn't going to make it as high up. I do wish it was out when I made the sad build, the sad list, but you know, he wasn't. So what are you going to do? So that's Toshiro. Ukiura. Okay, this is one that I'm going to get a lot of hate for, and I understand why. People love Ukiura and people hate Renji. But it just so happens that this Renji is really, really good. So is Ukiura. And really, the only thing, because Ukiura's SP is like, what, 4 points higher than Renji's? But the only thing that makes Renji better this time around, because they are so evenly matched. They have very similar builds, like their strong attacks. His is a little bit weaker, but they both have a strong attack 3 that charges. Ukiura has the more of a crowd control kind of build, crowd control kind of strong attacks with his vortex move that, you know, groups him up, and the strong attack one that pushes him away. And Renji has first of all, his moves, you know, the strong attack 1 packs a bigger punch, but it's the double killer. Honestly, it's the double killer. Like I said several months ago, the order would have been switched. But because droplet zones and inheritance zones and all these things have killer multiplication stuff in them, toward their effects are like tripled or, you know, multiplied by 5. I don't know what the right word for that is. It's invaluable to have a double killer now. Anything that has a double killer that consists of Soul Reaper, Hollow, or Rancor, one of those two, or two of those three. You're lucky if you have them. You really are, because they are going to be very, very useful for events that have both of these enemies. So yeah, these two were pretty solid. Take those out, and Renji. This was another one that gave me, from here it actually became really, really difficult, because man, these next couple characters switched the order so many times. The next few characters, Orihime and Baragan, were particularly difficult just because they are very, very similar characters. They're both sad characters. They both have really high SP. Granted, Orihime's is better, and she doesn't have she has a human affiliation, meaning she has no weakness. And so on paper, Orihime actually seems like the better character. She has the strong attack 3 that charges, which means doubles the strength. But realistically, Baragan hits so many more times. Like I think his strong attack 1 is like 8 times, and it's like 10 and 6. I don't know. It's a crazy amount. And Orihime's hit multiple times too. Granted, hers aren't that strong, but they hit, you know, it's multiple times just to get the weakening in there. But I feel like Baragan's hit harder and they hit more times. Maybe they're the same amount of times for 2 and 1. I know 3 hits a crazy amount of times because it stays on screen forever, but his pack a bigger punch. Still though, the order switched for them so many times, just because of their qualities. But I still think it's his strong attacks 1 and 2 that really, and 3, that really just made that difference. But like I said, you know, you can take a look at the numbers, the range on her strong attack 1 and 2. And really, the power on them is not that great. So, yeah, even though her damage output for strong attack 3, like the potential is bigger than Baragan's, but it's still something you can only do like every 12 seconds or so. So, there you go. Okay, Aizen. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, and I don't care. Because Aizen, when it comes to Aizen and Soifon, Aizen, in my opinion, is the better character. If you build them correctly, if you build them the right way, Aizen is the better character. However, this isn't if you build them the better way thing. It's not a equip him with strong attack damage and equip her with whatever she gets. No, it's strong attack recharge build. That's what the whole video is strong attack recharge. Meaning that all 3 of his links would be strong attack recharge. All 3 of her links will be strong attack recharge. In the end, she ends up coming out on top because of the poison. Yes, he has that infinite boost. He does also suffer from that Mashiro thing where he only gets it about 19 to 20 seconds. His attack does go up high. Granted, his attack's actually, the range I think is actually a little bit worse than Mashiro's. I'm not exactly sure. I gotta take a look at the thing again. They might be similar. They might be the same. I'm not really sure. But still, the fact that this is a double-edged sword, because if he's a S.A.R character, so it's kind of, you know, the damage is there because he has such a high SP. He has Frenzy, but it's not as frequent as the other one. Still though, great character. Like I said, if this was like PvP when it comes to green characters, he would be on top, no question. Soifon would be several characters behind him. Even for top greens, he would be ahead of her. But when it comes to strong attack recharge build, it's a very strange thing to think about, considering they both have the same soul trait. But strong attack recharge is more PvE, and poison, especially now when there's characters who sometimes, you've all been there. we've all been there, where we're in co-op and it's inheritance zones or extreme co-op, and everybody else disconnects or everybody else is dead, and you're stuck doing 1 point of damage to basically characters who are shielded from specific damage. With poison characters such as her or Gin, you do not have that problem, which is really nice. And really, it's just a great character. They're both great characters, but Soifon for this build comes out on top. Toshiro, should we even bother going through Toshiro? I mean, this is an explanation video, and we already know why he's number one, so I might skip him. We already know he's number one. We already know the reasons he's number one. I say, you know, I'm just gonna skip him. Okay, here are the characters that didn't make it, but they were on the list. We'll go this way, starting with Ichigo, movie 1. If you'll notice, there were a lot of characters here recently that have strong attack recharge, and a lot of them that'll eliminate pretty quickly will be eliminated for the same reason, in that they have no status ailment or charge move. A lot of the characters, no, all of the characters that I did on the list before either had a charge move, a boost, or some sort of status ailment or something. While Ichigo is really, really, really strong, he does not fall into that category. He doesn't have these things. And so he's really just someone who can use their strong attacks over and over and over again, which is nice, but the other ones have that going for them, and that's just a little bit more of a boost to help them out, and that's actually what eliminates him. For Lisa, hold on, it eliminates him for that reason. It also eliminates Halibel for that reason, unfortunately, because I would have loved to put her in that list. Sana's also eliminated for that. So is Zangetsu, even though I love this character, one of my favorite characters. Did I put Lisa on here twice? I guess I did. Okay, that's why they got eliminated. Okay, Gin. Because a lot of people are going to be like, why isn't Gin up there? He's really good with the S.A.R build. Yes, he is. He is. And his own thing helps him out. But under S.A.R build, Soifon is the better option. Higher SP. You know, her attacks are also pretty quick. I think his are quicker. 1 or 2 of his are quicker. But under S.A.R build, you're going to go with the one that has 14 recharge and the higher thing. If it's an SP build, then Gin will win. But it's not. So, you know, that's why. But yeah, he's still really good. And he would have, if it wasn't for Caleb's, oh man, they've been adding so many S.A.R characters, he would definitely make it in there, but he was not. Unohana was also a candidate for this, just because she's got a cooldown reduction and a heal move, just like Ururu. Her strong attacks would, you know, pack a bigger impact, just because you probably wouldn't chappy this character, but her stats aren't up to the challenge anymore. They're still good. They're still really decent. 650 is pretty good. But, you know, nowadays, everything is just so OP, it just doesn't compete. Plus, her killer is Espada, which doesn't really help her much at all. Like, I don't think any of the other characters had either Captain or Espada killers, which at this point only helps for bosses. So, you know, that's why she didn't make it. Here's one that was also close to making it. In fact, her and Gin, she probably would have made it there before Gin, if I'm not going to lie. Her SP is higher, although not by much. But she does have that boosted soul trait, and she has a vortex move, which is nice for strong attack recharge, because that strong attack recharge is all about crowd control. And yeah, it's really good. And I feel like her strong attacks have better range, plus she's ranged, so there you go. Lisa. Okay. I really wanted to put this character in it too because I really like Lisa. But she's also a similar thing as the Ichigo and Tenza and all that. She does have status ailments here, but she was just close. She was close to being there, but she barely didn't make it. Let's just put it that way. I think she actually would have been number 11. That's really why. She just barely didn't make it. It's unfortunate. I would have loved to see her on there. But yeah, it's Lisa. This is the one that made me the saddest. I really wanted to put Nell in there. Because she was on the list last time. She's a very, very, very good character. And there was one very, very specific reason I did not put her on this list. And that's her strong attack 2. Now in the past, and this has been in many, many of my top 10 videos, many of my videos in general, because I have put her in other videos where it's her versus Inherited Zones or something like that. Her strong attack 2, for the longest time, made her immortal. Basically, when you use your strong attack 2, she couldn't be touched. She couldn't take damage. And because it's a strong attack recharge character and a boosted strong attack recharge character, her strong attack 2 meant that she could use it every like 7 seconds, and 3.5 of those seconds, like half that time, she was completely immune from damage. So you could use that to get away from enemies' charge moves or enemies like the instant kill stuff. I guess that is the charge move. But like anything that's charged, anything that's like projectile, you can use it to basically avoid it. It'll just phase right through you. They since then fixed that, which is very unfortunate because that was a very big component to this character, just because she could straight up just be immortal for like half the time she was on there. Unfortunately, they fixed it. You know, it's what are you gonna do? She's still a phenomenal character. I would have loved to put her in there, but you know, similar thing to Ichigo and all that. She does have one that does status elements, but it's just not gonna cover it, especially since she doesn't have debilitator. But yeah, that's it for this list. As you can see, it was a hard one. It was a hard one to do. A lot of people are gonna be like, this is gonna be, why is this on 10 and this and all. I tried. They switched around so many times. It was definitely a difficult one to do. And like I said, if they're on 10, it doesn't mean they're bad. They're still phenomenal, phenomenal characters. You saw some of the greatest characters in the game didn't even make it, and that's saying a lot because this, you know, S.A.R is such a great thing right now, even though a lot of them can't even be used in PvP. But the game is mostly PvE anyway. That was a lot of talking. Alright, that's it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and upload these 2 videos, and then I'm going to make another one on the upcoming characters that are coming out tonight. Take care.